Imagine that on the day of the crucifixion, a Roman centurion stood at the foot of the cross. He had a clear task: to ensure the execution proceeded without any interference. As the leader of 100 soldiers, he was a man hardened by war and accustomed to death. To him, this was just another day of duty, a cruel but routine job. Yet this day would change his life forever. The man being executed was Jesus of Nazareth, a figure who had stirred unrest among the religious leaders and the Roman authorities. They accused him of claiming to be the king of the Jews, a charge that carried significant political and religious implications. For the centurion, however, Jesus was just another prisoner. But as the hours passed, he began to notice something unusual. When the nails were driven into Jesus' hands and feet, he did not scream or curse his executioners. Instead, he prayed, "Father, forgive them, for they do not know what they are doing." This was the first moment that caught the centurion's attention. He had witnessed countless executions, and most prisoners responded with fear, anger, or despair. But Jesus' calmness and compassion were unlike anything he had seen. As Jesus hung on the cross, the crowd around him hurled insults. Soldiers mocked him, placing a crown of thorns on his head and laughing at the idea that this man could be a king. Yet Jesus remained silent. He showed no hatred, no resistance. Even in his agony, he maintained a dignity that unsettled the centurion. At noon, something extraordinary happened. The sky darkened. It wasn't the gradual dimming of a storm, but an unnatural, heavy darkness that blanketed the land. The air became thick with unease, and the crowd grew silent. For 3 hours, the world seemed to hold its breath. Then, the ground began to shake. An earthquake tore through the area, splitting rocks and adding to the growing fear among the witnesses. The centurion, standing firm among the chaos, felt the weight of something he couldn't explain. It was as if nature itself was mourning the death of the man on the cross. This declaration was not born of impulse. It was the conclusion of everything the centurion had witnessed. Jesus' calm under torture, his prayer for forgiveness, the unnatural darkness, and the earthquake. All of it pointed to one undeniable truth. The centurion observed Jesus' composure as he nailed him to the cross. His composure. He had seen many condemned criminals shout in anger, beg for mercy, or curse their executioners. But Jesus did none of these things. Instead, he prayed aloud, asking for forgiveness for those who were responsible for his death. This was unlike anything the centurion had encountered. As the hours passed, nature itself seemed to reflect the gravity of the moment. At noon, darkness fell over the land. Witnesses described it as a suffocating, unnatural blackness that lasted for 3 hours. By the time the light returned, an earthquake shook the ground, splitting rocks and unsettling the crowd that had gathered to mock and mourn. For the centurion, these phenomena were not mere coincidences. They were signs of something extraordinary. At the moment of Jesus' death, the veil in the Temple of Jerusalem tore from top to bottom. The unnatural darkness and the earthquake, along with this event, evoked an overwhelming sense of awe among those present. For the centurion, it was more than awe, it was conviction. Looking up at Jesus on the cross, the centurion spoke words that echoed with certainty. Truly, this was the Son of God. This statement marked a profound shift in the centurion's understanding of power, divinity, and his role in the events of the day. Remember to join our community by subscribing to this channel. He had come to Golgotha as a man of duty, loyal to Rome and its laws. He left with the realization that he had witnessed the death of someone divine. The centurion's declaration was not merely a reaction to supernatural events. It was a recognition of something deeper. Jesus' behavior on the cross defied the centurion's understanding of strength and power. Roman culture demonstrated power through control and dominance, but Jesus showed a different kind of power, one rooted in humility, sacrifice, and love. Though history does not provide a detailed account of the centurion's life after Golgotha, his declaration has become a symbol of the transformative power of faith. Early Christian traditions suggest that he may have become a follower of Christ, using his unique position as a Roman soldier to spread the message of forgiveness and redemption. The story of Capernaum, found in Matthew 8:5-13 and Luke 7:1-10, is a profound example of faith, humility, and the recognition of divine authority. The centurion, a Roman officer responsible for 100 soldiers, was an unlikely figure to approach Jesus. As a Gentile and a representative of the occupying Roman forces, he was an outsider in the Jewish community. Yet his actions defied expectations. When his servant, someone he cared deeply for, became gravely ill, the centurion turned to Jesus for help. Unlike others who sought Jesus' aid, the centurion didn't demand his presence or a grand display of miracles. Instead, he sent messengers to deliver a remarkable plea. "Lord, my servant lies at home paralyzed, suffering terribly." This simple yet heartfelt request revealed both his compassion and his belief in Jesus' power to heal. It's worth noting that his care for his servant, a figure of lower status in Roman society, demonstrated an uncommon sense of humanity for someone of his rank. What makes the centurion's faith stand out is his profound understanding of authority. He told Jesus, "Lord, I do not deserve to have you come under my roof. Say the word, and my servant will receive healing. For I myself am a man under authority, with soldiers under me. I tell this one, go, and he goes, and that one, come, and he comes." In this statement, the centurion recognized Jesus' divine authority in a way that many others, even among Jesus' followers, had yet to grasp. He understood that Jesus didn't need to be physically present to perform a miracle. Just as the centurion's words commanded obedience from his soldiers, he believed Jesus' word carried ultimate power over sickness and the natural world. This recognition was profound because it came from someone outside the Jewish faith, someone who likely had limited exposure to Israel's religious teachings. His faith was not built on tradition, but on an intuitive understanding of Jesus' power and identity. Jesus' reaction to the centurion's faith was extraordinary. He turned to those following him and said, "Truly, I tell you, I have not found anyone in Israel with such great faith." This statement was a striking acknowledgement of the centurion's belief, especially when compared to the doubts Jesus often encountered among his own people. Jesus praised the centurion not just for his faith, but for its purity and depth, free from the constraints of religious expectations or rituals. Without stepping foot in the centurion's house, Jesus declared, "Go, let it be done just as you believed it would." And at that moment, the servant was healed. This miracle demonstrated that Jesus' power was not confined by distance or physical presence. It was a testament to the boundless nature of his authority and the effectiveness of true faith. The centurion's encounter with Jesus is more than a story of a miraculous healing. It is a testament to the transformative power of faith, a faith that doesn't depend on tradition, location, or outward displays, but on the recognition of who Jesus is and what he can do. Christian tradition gives the centurion a name, Longinus. This name is not found in the biblical texts, but emerged from apocryphal writings and early Christian stories. According to these accounts, Longinus was more than just an ordinary Roman soldier. After witnessing the events surrounding the crucifixion, the darkness that covered the land, the earthquake, and Jesus' composure even in death, Longinus experienced a profound spiritual transformation. Legends suggest that Longinus' declaration of Jesus' divinity was not a fleeting remark, but the beginning of a deep faith journey. Inspired by what he saw and felt at Golgotha, he is said to have converted to Christianity, leaving behind his life as a soldier to become a follower of Christ. One of the most enduring elements of the Longinus legend is his association with the spear that pierced Jesus' side. In the Gospel of John, it is recorded that a soldier pierced Jesus' side with a spear to ensure that he was dead. Tradition later linked this act to Longinus, who is said to have been the soldier who wielded the spear. This spear, known as the Holy Lance or the Spear of Destiny, became one of the most revered relics in Christian history. Various churches and collections around the world claim to hold pieces of this lance, and it has inspired countless legends. One story claims that when Longinus pierced Jesus' side, blood and water flowed from the wound and splashed onto his face, healing his poor eyesight and giving him a newfound clarity, both physical and spiritual. This moment, according to tradition, marked his complete conversion to faith. Over time, Longinus came to be venerated as a saint in various Christian traditions. In the Eastern Orthodox Church and the Roman Catholic Church, he is celebrated as a martyr who spread the message of Christ after his conversion. Some accounts claim he was eventually executed for his faith, solidifying his place among the early saints. Churches and shrines dedicated to St. Longinus can be found in different parts of the world. His relics, including the spear and purported remains, are objects of pilgrimage and devotion. While historical evidence about the centurion is sparse, the legends of Longinus add depth to the narrative of the crucifixion. These stories reflect humanity's desire to find meaning in the lives of those who played a role in pivotal moments of history. The act of piercing Jesus' side during the crucifixion is a moment rich with meaning and significance in Christian tradition. While it was carried out by a Roman soldier to confirm his death, this single act carries deep theological interpretations that have resonated with believers throughout history. It is viewed not only as a fulfillment of ancient prophecies, but also as a powerful symbol of Jesus' sacrifice, the sacraments of the Christian faith, and the transformative power of redemption. According to the Gospel of John, as Jesus hung on the cross, a soldier pierced his side with a spear, and from the wound flowed blood and water. This detail, carefully recorded, is often seen as fulfilling the prophecy in Zechariah 12:10, which states, "They will look on him whom they have pierced." Are you enjoying the story? Support our channel by clicking the subscribe button. For Christians, this prophecy is a reminder that the crucifixion was not an accident, but a divine plan foreseen long before it occurred. It emphasizes that every detail of Jesus' death was part of a larger purpose to bring salvation to humanity. The blood and water flowing from Jesus' side hold profound symbolic meaning. The blood is often interpreted as representing Jesus' sacrifice, the ultimate price he paid for the forgiveness of sins. It is a vivid reminder of the love and grace that underpin the Christian understanding of salvation. Meanwhile, the water is seen as a symbol of baptism, representing spiritual cleansing and rebirth. Together, the blood and water are understood to symbolize the sacraments of the Eucharist and baptism, which are central to the Christian faith. They signify not only the cost of redemption, but also the means by which believers are continually nourished and renewed in their spiritual journey. After his encounter with Jesus, Longinus is said to have left his military life behind, converted to Christianity, and devoted himself to spreading the gospel. His story resonates deeply within Christian tradition, serving as a testament to the power of faith to change even the hardest of hearts. This Roman officer, a figure of authority and loyalty to the empire, stood as a witness to the climactic events of Jesus' death. His declaration, "Truly, this was the Son of God," marks a significant moment in the narrative of the crucifixion and carries profound implications about faith, grace, and human potential for change. The crucifixion itself was a public spectacle designed by the Roman Empire to instill fear and maintain control. For the centurion, overseeing such an execution was likely routine, a duty carried out with precision and detachment. Yet this particular event unfolded in ways that were anything but ordinary. From the unnatural darkness that covered the land to the earthquake that shook the very ground beneath the cross, the crucifixion of Jesus was marked by signs that pointed to a greater truth. These events, combined with Jesus' calm and forgiving demeanor even in the face of extreme suffering, profoundly impacted the centurion. The significance of the centurion's transformation lies in its representation of spiritual awakening. As a Roman soldier, he was a symbol of power and discipline, a person conditioned to carry out orders without question. His role in Jesus' crucifixion positioned him as an enforcer of death, yet he emerged from that day as someone forever changed. His recognition of Jesus' divinity, spoken aloud for all to hear, was not just a statement, but a moment of clarity and conviction. It signified a breaking away from the confines of duty and worldly power to embrace a truth that transcended his role as a soldier. If you are enjoying this story, consider supporting it by clicking the Super Thanks button. Your contribution helps us share more powerful messages of hope and inspiration. This transformation also highlights the universality of grace. The centurion, who participated directly in the events leading to Jesus' death, became a symbol of redemption. His story underscores the Christian belief that no one is beyond the reach of divine forgiveness. By witnessing Jesus' sacrifice, the centurion's heart was opened to a new understanding of strength, one that is rooted not in force or authority, but in humility, love, and selflessness. His journey demonstrates that redemption is not about one's past actions, but about recognizing the truth and embracing it when it is revealed. His declaration is seen as a turning point that underscores the broader message of the crucifixion, the breaking down of barriers between humanity and God. In Christian theology, the tearing of the temple veil at the moment of Jesus' death symbolizes the removal of separation between the divine and the human. This suggests that faith can emerge from the most unexpected circumstances, and that encountering the divine often involves a combination of external signs and internal receptivity. His story reminds us that even the hardest of hearts can be softened when faced with profound truth. Thanks for watching. Join our community by subscribing to this channel. Until the next video.